So I'd like to bring on someone who became a coach back in 2012 and is representing Canada today. And he is a 9-star diamond coach. He has been an elite coach 4 times. He has been a member of our coach advisory board. He's now a member of our legacy club, which means over the time that he has been a coach working incredibly hard, he has earned over $1 million. He is from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, Miguel Carrasco.
Hey, how's it going, Sandy?
It's going well. It's a great day.
I can tell you're bringing the fire. You must have done morning meltdown with me today.
I think morning meltdown. I think it was cardio meltdown I did.
I love this. I love your fire. I got to say, like, if you could like send me an audio with that fire every morning, I would actually probably get my workout done every single day before 9 o'clock. So that's amazing.
That's why it's called the wake up call. So everybody may not know you on this call who's on. So why don't you let people know what brought you over to Beachbody?
Absolutely. I'll tell you guys my story. I always feel like I've told it so many times, but I know we have so many new coaches, especially with Morning Meltdown 100 and these promo codes. So for me, I started coaching back in 2012, and it's kind of an odd story. So let me rewind the tape a little bit for you guys. So for me, I actually worked as a Microsoft consultant for about 15 years before Beachbody. So I started that in the 2000s when the .com stuff was all going on. And every year, I gained about 5 pounds until one day I found myself, I was 240 pounds. I was about 31 years old at the time. And I was actually, my friends never said, you know, you're overweight or anything like that, but I was 240 pounds and I'm like 5'6" with shoes on or 5'7" with lifts in. And I just told you my Tom Cruise secret. No, I'm kidding. I don't wear lifts. But anyway, so I'm driving home from daycare, and daycare is actually my parents. And I have 2 kids in the car. My wife's pregnant with our third. I remember driving home, and all of a sudden, like the left hand that I'm driving with starts feeling a little bit like numb. And I thought, well, that's weird. I've never felt that before, but you know, it's winter. It's about minus 50 in Winnipeg in Canada, where I'm from. So I'm like, maybe I'm just a little bit cold. Well, by the time I get home, I jump in the shower and I'm shampooing up here and stuff. And all of a sudden I'm like, that's really odd. I can't feel like the left side of my scalp or face. So now I'm starting to panic a little bit. I go lie down, and my wife comes up to me. She's like, why are you lying down? And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, she's like, well, you're super high energy. Like, you never lie down. Like, what's going on here? And I'm like, well, you know, I just can't feel like the whole left side of my body. It's all good. Hopefully I'll feel better in a minute. And we started arguing. I lost. She was already pregnant with our third. I ended up going to the hospital. I get to the hospital. I don't know how it is in the US, but here we have like government healthcare, right? So what that means is you don't pay as much. You still pay a little bit. But, you know, if you're usually waiting in the emergency for about 3 days and you're usually, you know, stuff's happened to you before you actually get in. So I get in there. I remember sitting down and they like start hooking me up to like triage me. And there's a guy sitting beside me and he's got his other finger in his other hand. And I'm like, wow, well, he's going to get in before me. Long story short, they rush me in. I get hooked up to all this stuff. I literally, that moment for me, like changed my life. I'm like sitting there looking up in the ceiling. My cell phone's dead. I thought I was going to like literally like die. I thought like it was over. So I started thinking like, who's going to pay the bills? You know, who's going to walk my daughter down the aisle? Who's going to, like, all these things that start flashing back to me. And I know this isn't like planned, Sandy, but I got to share this with every single Beachbody coach out there, because this is what you have to create in your life. That moment, my back got against the wall. And if I could touch every single one of you and put you in that moment, the feeling that I had where I had no other option but to go forward, that's what happened to me. And I had to fight. And I think sometimes many of you don't have to fight. You're like, you have options, and therefore you take the least hardest option. And so for me, I had to go forward. I had to do something. And so for me, what I ended up doing is I decided to try and go to the gym. That didn't work. I felt out of place. I didn't feel like it was a place for me. I ended up watching infomercials on TV one night while drinking a Heineken, and I saw P90X, and I remember watching this workout, and this guy, Tony Horton, was doing this incredible stuff. And I remember thinking, it's probably fake. These people are probably like plants. They're not real people, not real results. But I had no choice. I decided to call in. I ordered it. I remember they were upselling me. They're like, do you want the chin-up bar? I'm like, yes. Do you want the bars back then? Remember those probably unhealthy P90X bars? Yes, I want those too. I bought everything. I bought the Orange Crush Performance, everything. I bought all the stuff. And then they said, oh, do you want Turbo Fire as well for a discount? Long story short, about P90X Turbo Fire, spent, I think it was $800 plus shipping to Canada for 2 workouts, guys. Showed up, didn't do it for 2 weeks. Coach reached out, and I'm summarizing because I know we're short on time. Coach reaches out, puts me in a challenge group. I end up starting to do the P90X workouts. After the 3rd day, I fell off the chin-up bar. I wanted to quit. Coach comes back in, says, let's do this thing. I start doing Turbo Fire, and I got results. I ended up losing 80 pounds with the Beachbody workouts. People started reaching out to me saying, how'd you do it? What'd you do? And for a while, I was just helping them for free. A friend of mine called me up. They're like, hey, you should become a coach. I'm like, sounds like a total scam. I got a great job. I make 6 figures. And luckily for me, I actually started thinking about it. I'm like, you know, what if this is like, there's a calling here for me to do this? Like, there's a reason why all these horrible things happen to me in my life. And this is that culmination. This is that reason. And I think today is that moment for many of you. And I want you to think about that for a second. What things in your life have you gone through where today is the day that you must take massive, unrelenting action? And so for me, I was like, why not? I'll try it. I already bought the workouts. It was like $40 to sign up. So I signed up day 2, Sandy, of Beachbody launching in Canada, not day 1. So there was already like thousands of coaches all signed up. And that's how my whole journey started. And over that course of period, I've been able to help so many people. It's just been an incredible honor to be a part of this family. I think they always say in life that, you know, you want to have a hobby that you love. You want to be able to earn an income in a job that you feel fulfilled, that you're helping others, you know, and you want to have a great income coming in and a great family. And I feel that, you know, and the 4th thing really is health. And I really feel like Beachbody, for me at least, really takes advantage of all those things and has made my life so incredible. And that's why I'm so fired up today for so many of you, because like, I hope you all understand, like, and I've been in Beachbody for a while now. I've seen 80-day obsession. I've seen the 21-day fix. Like, for those of you, I remember some coaches are like, man, I wish I was around when 21-day fix launched, or man, I wish I was around when 80-day obsession launched. Like, this is bigger, guys. Like, I'm not making up this energy. This is bigger. This is your moment to put your back against the wall and decide that this is the moment for you to explode your business, not for financial gain, but because of the people's lives that you're going to affect. You know, Morning Meltdown 100 is today, and you still have 2 more days to use the promo code. You know what, Sandy? I'm going to stop talking for a minute and let you get a word in, because I'm fired up just as much as you.
No, you know what? I was just going to throw you a question about your story, because it always gets me every time when you tell that story. But when you started the workout, the first day, you know, this weekend, it was about Succeed Together. What was it about that coach and putting you in that challenge group that made you stay in it and go all the way and finish a program?
I think many of us feel like we're alone in life, and we don't want to admit it. You know, we spend our whole lives trying to find our tribe, our people, or someone that will just get us, right? And I feel like I was in that moment, I felt defeated. You know, I felt lost. I felt like I had done so many things right, but I had made such huge mistakes in my life with my nutrition. I remember one day I was like literally kneeling on my knees in our garage in our old home, praying, like literally praying on my knees. I don't know if you've ever been there, but I was there. Like, I just got back from an EKG test. It was 3 weeks into this whole nightmare with the doctors. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. They prescribed a ton of pills. I left a ton of stuff out I could talk about for hours, but I was just praying. I was like, please, like something, like I will put in the effort. You just give me a little miracle, right? Like, that's what I was praying. And I don't know if you've ever prayed that prayer, if you're listening to this call, but that for me, my prayer was answered. And then I realized that I wasn't alone. Being a part of that group with other people, like someone that got me, that understood, and then being surrounded by others that also, you know, were overweight and also, you know, didn't want to work out. And some that weren't even overweight, some that to me looked amazing and they felt defeated. And so to me, I was just like, wow, like there are other people that wants to become better. And if I can just surround myself with those people, then I know I will succeed. And so that to me got me excited. You know, I started doing the selfie thing and I started posting and doing all that stuff and sharing things. And back then a lot of it was through email, but it was very cool for me to be surrounded by that community. And I think sometimes as coaches, we forget that. You know, we get so wrapped up in how incredible Beachbody is and the workouts, and that's amazing for us. But you need to understand as coaches that that other people, they need you. Okay, this isn't like an option. This should not be an option of maybe I'll do the workout today, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll use the promo codes, maybe I won't. And I'll talk about that in a second. Should be like your duty. Like your followers that follow you, like they follow you for a reason. Whether it's 3 people, you got 3 followers, or whether it's 100,000, those people believe in you. They trust in you, and they trust in you that you're going to help them. And I'll tell you this, if my coach hadn't reached out to me, and if my coach that even signed me up in this business and breathed belief in me and talked to you like I'm going to talk to you about what to do, if that hadn't happened, I don't even know if I'd be here. I know we can't make those claims, but for my personal journey, not even Beachbody, that person reaching out to me saved my life. And that's what you can be for others.
I was just thinking, people don't stumble on teambeachbody.com and just sign up to be a coach. They're inspired. They're inspired on social media, or they are, somebody reaches out to them. So had you not been, shown the possibility, you would have never known. So it's great advice. And I'm thinking of everybody that went to Summit and everybody that went to Super Weekend that was thinking, hey, I want to check this thing out. It was the community that they saw that was the decision maker for them. It was the community, and it's our job, or your job, role of the coach, to keep that accountability going and that follow-up and that support. So I'm going to let you talk on this topic about promo codes, and why are you talking about this today?
Yeah, like I'm so excited about promo codes. Like when Carl, I got to tell you a little secret, okay? Here's a little secret for future as well, because I don't know what's coming in the future. So hopefully all of you, give me hard thumbs up if you want to just transform your business over the next couple of years, not even just today. I'm going to tell you a secret. Anytime Carl Deichler gets excited about something, you should take massive action with it, okay? Because that guy's going to run with that ball, and he's not going to let it go. Like, he will not. Like, he is probably, I've met a lot of really cool CEOs in my lifetime. Really cool. I've met like Pitbull, Tony Robbins. I've met Bill Gates, Steve Ballmer. I'm going to tell you, Carl Deichler is like another level of like person that when he gets his mind wrapped around something like transforming health and fitness in this world, he's going to do it. And so when he got, I'm telling you honestly, what happened is when he got up on stage and he started talking about these promo codes, I was like shooting videos, Instagram, posting on my team page, talking about it. I didn't even know how it was all going to play out and how it worked yet, because I don't even think he had it all figured out yet. But I knew something. I knew that he was going to run with that. And if I ran with it with my team, that it was going to help transform a lot of people's lives. So based on that, we've had some tremendous success just from the beginning, just helping people use these promo codes on our team. And so instead of just firing you up, which I love to do, obviously, I want to really give you like 5 key ways that you can use these promo codes today. Because I know many of you are like, oh, well, I already missed the boat because, he was already excited about it. We only got 2 days left. And there's actually, there's no timeline on this. Like 48 hours, understand that when I started building this business, I was working 60 hours a week. And then when I was home, I wouldn't start working my business until I got home, obviously, after dinner. So if you add up 48 hours, you have like unlimited time. Like you are probably going to waste a lot of time over the next 2 days. So instead of wasting that time, if you just do the things that I'm going to share with you, I'm going to make you I can't make you a promise. I was told I'm not allowed to. So I will tell you that it is possible that if you do these 5 things and you take 2 to 3 hours to do these 5 things, it's possible that you may hit Success Club or more. It's possible that you're going to transform your life just by some simple things. Because I think sometimes coaches get a little too excited and they get confused and they spend too much time doing the whole, scroll thing. And they say, well, I'm working my business. I'm looking for ideas to post. And in reality, then your husband comes up to you and he's like, hey, like, are you going to stop working? You're like, yeah, no, I'm busy right now. And you're just scrolling for ideas. So instead of wasting a scroll, I'm going to tell you exactly what you should do today. So the first kind of thought, and this is all stuff we used on our team. The first thing that I want you to understand is with these promo codes, what's really cool about this is it gives you a reason to engage. Like, think about it for a second. The reason that you spend so much time on social media, crafting your post, using Lightroom to get cool filters, all these different things, the reason you do all of that, the reason you spend hours sometimes crafting one post is because you want people to reach out and you want them to engage with you. right? And so the genius of promo codes is that this is a reason for you to reach out, not just to new customers, not just to your coaches to get them engaged, not just to all these people, but also to reach out to people that maybe said no to you in the past, that maybe said, oh, it's too expensive. You can make people feel special. And that's my first point that I train my team on. And that I want you to understand is that this is a reason for you to reach out and say something like this. And I'll give you an example. So just a little example of what you could say. You could say, hey, Sam, I know you've been thinking about joining our VIP groups for some time. Do you have a second? I have an amazing thing I want to tell you about. You'll love it, but it's only valid for 3 of my clients for the next 24 hours. Okay, and that's it. Now you can send that over a text. I personally like to send it over a voice message. I feel it's a lot more personal and they kind of hear back and forth. And then they can also text me or voice message me back. So notice I'm not saying anything like, hey, there's a deal on blah, blah, blah. Like I'm not doing that. I'm using it as a reason to engage with them. And so then I'll have like some back and forth, it'll chatter. And then I'll say something like you've probably seen on my Instagram that we've started Morning Meltdown 100 with our tribe. We got 100 workouts. It's live pumping DJ music, crazy results for 100 days. And I want you to be one of our VIP clients, right? And so I'll start chatting with them about that. I'll start telling them about the experience, the group, how I'm going to support them, all these different types of things. And then I'll go into more detail as we're chatting. And I'll say something like Beachbody's given us 3 coupon codes to their best coaches in the network, but they have to be used before the end of the month. And I wanted to give you a shot. So just so you understand, and this is where I come down to breaking it down to the end. And by the way, Sandy, I'll let them know that on YouTube, there's a leadership talk that I did about 3 years ago, I believe, and you can go in there and see. It's a 20-minute talk and it explains exactly how I break down the conversations that I have with customers. So you can all go check that out. But then when I end it, I'll say something like Beachbody's given us 3 coupon codes just to the best coaches in the network, and they have to be used by the end of the next 48 hours. So typically, just so you understand, Beachbody On Demand, and I'll give out US prices just so it's clear. Beachbody On Demand is $100, which includes all the workouts like 21-day fix, core to force, P90X, like you name it, all those cool workouts, you get every single one of them. So you get that. You get Shakeology, which is typically $129.95 in the US, which is crazy good for you. I know you already love it. And then you also get Morning Meltdown as well, totally included, which is also another $50. So with the coupon code that I have for you today, instead of paying all of that in chunks, what you can do is you can get started today. I can add you into my tribe group today. I can help you get started today. You can even get into Jericho's really cool workout, who's the lady that runs the program for 2 weeks for extra motivation. You're going to get everything for $150, but I need to know right now. And so if, again, and what I want you to understand, especially if you're a new coach, people think, well, I tried this and that didn't work. Listen, I want to be really clear, like your goal is to talk to as many people as you possibly can. So if you talk to 10 people and one says yes, that's great. Go talk to 10 more. Another one will say yes. And the more you do that, the more your percentage is going to go up. But ultimately, you just have to share your story with a lot of people. So the first thing I want to tell you on this call is that make sure that you're making people feel special. And you'll notice that in how I said it as well, you're also giving yourself a little credibility, because if you have these coupon codes, understand you are a great coach in this network. You are someone that Beachbody believes in, that is giving you this power to engage with someone. But again, it's kind of like life, right? Like when your back's against the wall, you have an option. Like, what are you going to do? And so your option should be to use the coupon codes, make yourself, understandable, make people understand that you are a special coach in the network, that you have these codes. And then you want to make other people feel special, that you are one of the people that you want to help. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I want to tell you that's really cool about these coupon codes is it creates a sense of urgency, okay? So let's say, for example, if you have already sent these out, let's say you sent these out to some people, you should absolutely follow up with them. So for example, you might say tomorrow to, let's just Sam again, hey Sam, just wanted to follow up and make sure you were still going to use the coupon code for the $10 off. And by the way, in Canada, it's $12 off to join our 100-day Morning Meltdown VIP group. Just a quick reminder, I wanted to tell you that it expires in the next 48 hours. I have a ton of people that want this coupon code. So if you're not interested in that and you want to pay full price in a few weeks, that's totally fine. But just let me know, because I have that coupon code reserved for you. And again, if you follow up with, let's say 10 people and let's say 5 say yes and 5 say no, then that's great. Like a lot of this, guys, is following up. Like most of the big decisions that you've made in your life, you didn't make them instantly. You didn't just walk into a store and say, I'm going to buy this car like that, or I'm going to buy this television. You probably did research. You walked in and out. And so this is a lot of what we have to do with people. I think sometimes, especially new coaches, they get a little bit, disheartened when they get all fired up from Summit or a call like this, and then they try a tactic with one person, and then they get so discouraged. And I want to be very clear, because I know we have a lot of new coaches, which is incredible on this call, is that just understand that give yourself some grace. Just allow yourself to try this 10, 20 times. What's cool is you have to remember that no one knows how many people you asked, right? No one knows that you asked 20 people. No one knows that you bombed the last chat you had. Another cool way to invite that I love is on Instagram. This is how we're teaching a lot of our team to invite, is through stories, right? DM me if you're interested. Guess what? It's not like Facebook. No one knows if 10 people DM'd you, if no one DM'd you, if your mom DM'd you, nobody knows that stuff. So, a great way for you to practice inviting is just through your Instagram. And so I really want you to understand that you have to create that sense of urgency, guys, because this does expire in 2 days. Like this is legitimate. So when you follow up with people, like there's a quote that says fortune's in the follow-up, and it's so true. And I always also like to say that other people's successes in the follow-up. It's not just your fortunes in the follow-up. I feel that that's so monetary. Really, it's other people's success. It's people that you talk to. It's people that follow up with you. For me, it's like my cousin, it's my brother, it's family that need me to follow up with them, and they need me to create that sense of urgency so that they take action. It's not like a sales tactic. It's a way to get people to transform their lives and make a decision. Now, the third thing I want to tell you today is your email list. Like hopefully a lot of you have email lists. If you don't have one, make sure you get one started. Typically, any new conversation that I have, I'll find a way to grab an email address from someone, whether it's through a Facebook group or whether it's through even a chat. The first thing before I give people info, I'll grab their email address, because that way I'm building up my email database. So a great email that you can send to your customers, right, is you can tell them a little bit about them, this promotion. You can tell them about 48 hours left. You can take a photo of you with your morning meltdown challenge pack that you got, your completion pack, whatever it is that you got. And you can show them and you can say, hey, just so you know, for the first, one of the things that I told my team to do is the first 3 people that respond to this email are going to get a massive savings discount on this promo, on this kit. And so what ends up happening is you're going to get people responding to you, and then you can talk to them. You can either give them the promo code if they're ready to go, or you can have a little chat with them. What I like to do is I'll get them off of email, and I'll either get them through Instagram chatting or through Facebook, so I can send them audio, or I'll get them on the phone. I love doing that. And then we talk about what it is they want to achieve, and then I give them the promo code. So if you have an email list, like even if you don't have one, guys, it's so easy to go into the back office. I'm not out of time on this call, but I'm sure you can go on YouTube and find a way. You can download your customer list right from your Beachbody office, and you could import it into a mail program, or you could even go into your Gmail and just send out an email and tell people, hey, I got 3 promo codes. The first 3 people that respond to me, they're going to get a massive discount savings on this brand new VIP group that I'm hosting for the next 100 days. So again, this is the third thing that you could do. And these things don't take a lot of time, guys. You could do all of these little steps in about 20, 30 minutes if you focus. The fourth thing I want you guys to know is marketing of your stories. Like show yourself doing morning meltdown. And I kind of talked about this already. You can go look at my stories right now if you want. I did the workout this morning. I showed exactly what I was doing. I tried to make it funny. I knocked over a Shakeology cup with ice in it. And I said, hey, interact with me. So I put a little funny face on there. And so I did a lot of stuff. And then I did my morning meltdown. I made fun of people that, for me, that's my thing. But I didn't have to go to the gym. I just went in my backyard and I worked out, and it's beautiful out. I did morning meltdown. And then at the end, I just said, hey, if you want to join me with this, DM me. And then after the DM thing, I said, hey, here's my results. And I showed them my results before and afters. And it's great. And people engage. And I got a few people that DM me, and I'm doing this call, and I'm going to DM them back. So that's how this works. Like, and another thing that you should know if you're a new coach is that sometimes I'll walk through some and they're like, how do you find the time? Guys, like, I'm not making time. I'm not making up stories. Like, I really feel like I'm just documenting my life. I'm documenting the process of what I'm already doing. So it's not much more work for me to do all this stuff because this is what I'm already doing. I'm not making up. I'm not going to work out because I have to. I'm working out because I want to, and that's what I do anyway. So just understand that with Instagram, it's so easy for you guys right now to invite without being afraid of the result, because no one knows how many views your stories get. Nobody knows how many people liked it. Nobody knows who commented. So that fear that stops many of you, there's no fear. There's no fear on stories. You can do this. You'll get better and better and better and better. I promise. And then the last thing is really that you should be training your team, guys. Like, if you're having success and you're doing all these things, the next thing is to go live on your team page and show your excitement about this promotion. The promo codes are absolutely incredible. Like think about it. Like, for 100, I gotta say, like, for 150 US, like, it's ridiculous that you're gonna get 100 workouts plus Shakeology. Like, I don't even know if we've broken down the cost of each workout if you were to include Shakeology and the workout in 100. Like, it's absolutely insane. It's very clear that Beachbody wants you to help other people achieve healthy, fulfilling lives. The problem, the disconnect, really, in success and no success, is it's all on you. It's all on you. And so you have to train your teams. And you might say, well, I only got 3 people on my team. Great, guys. When I started, I only had 3 people on my team too. And I was after a week of being a coach, I invited a lot of people, and guess what? No one wanted to do it. And I was ready to quit. I had my form printed and I was ready to quit. And a friend of mine called me up on a Sunday, and thank God Marlo called me up, and she knows who she is. And she said, hey, I want to do this thing. And so that's where it started for me on Monday. We started figuring it out. And 3 weeks after that, I was a diamond coach. But the reason that happened was because I wasn't afraid to take action on the things that my coach was teaching me, that I was learning on the National Wake Up Call, that I was learning through Beachbody's training. And I did it. And I just took action. And it wasn't perfect, but things worked. And I think in life, you got to realize that you just have to be okay with imperfection. And that is how you achieve in life. And so you need to go live in your team pages and say, hey, I'm so excited. I just got off the National Wake Up Call. There's these 5 incredible tips that I want to share with you guys. And you could just, and don't even point, you can point the wake up call if you want, I guess, so we can get more downloads and have me back maybe. But ideally what I want you to do is not promote, I mean, I'm sorry, Sandy, but promote you. Like, go live on your team page and share your 5 tips on how you're going to use the promo codes, and put a stake in the ground and tell your team that I'm going to use these promo codes. And look up, go into your back office, look up your active coaches that would have got promo codes, and message every single one of them and say, hey, I just did a live on my team page. You need to go watch that video right now. We got 48 hours to make stuff happen. Like, guys, sometimes I meet coaches and they're like, I wish I was one of those top 10 elite coaches. I wish I was that. And then when I start asking them, well, what have you done with this? Well, I didn't do that. Well, what did you do with that? Well, I didn't do that. What did you do with that? I didn't do that. Guys, it's within you to change people's lives. It's within you to become a top 10 coach. It's within you to achieve greatness. The only thing that's really holding you back really is you. And the last thing I want to say before I give it back to Sandy is that I know that sometimes we think, okay, I know some of you, because my team did this, they thought promo codes were too salesy. And I want to address this right now. It is not salesy to want to help other people. I got to tell you, my opinion, it is a disservice if you've got a following of 3 people or 1,000 or 100,000, you're doing your people a disservice by not telling them about these promo codes. Because you may think that $10 isn't a big deal. You may think that $12 isn't a big deal. Give me a hard thumbs up if $10 or $12 is a big deal, or you know someone that would be a big deal for. So if you're simply not sharing it because, well, I don't want to be salesy, I don't want to be this. Listen, you are doing those people a disservice. And the other thing on that is that they're going to see it through other coaches. And then what do you think they're going to think when they message you and say, I'll make up a name. Hey, John, like, I just heard from this other coach that there's this deal and it's expiring in 48 hours. Like, why didn't you tell me? Like, you're my person, John. Like, you're the one I look up to. You're the one that I go to in my neighborhood for health and fitness advice. Like, you're my person. Like, I would have totally taken action on that. And it started today. Like, hook me up, man. Let's do this thing. So understand that when you are not helping others through the tools that you're getting specifically crafted from Beachbody, from Carl when he comes up with an idea before he hits the stage. Like, you're doing your people a disservice. And, I just want to make sure that you guys are taking action on this. So Sandy, I'll pass it back to you before I add
I'm not done, Miguel, because what I learned at Super Weekend is that people think that inviting is overwhelming, and what I think inviting is just letting people know what you're doing. It's just inviting them into your life, into your journey, so that they ask questions. So inviting doesn't have to be this big thing where you invite people to a party and check the RSVPs. Inviting is opening up the conversation to let people know what you do. So I appreciate all of that. The other thing I wanted to ask you about this whole thing about being salesy and all that. You've been a coach now 7 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It didn't start out where he was super confident and super great, speaking about Beachbody. So those of you who are checking in this wake-up call today, it didn't start day one like that. It wasn't perfect. It's still not perfect. He's just always sharing his genuine journey, his genuine story. And he's amped up about it because his back was against the wall. And he is now in a position where he can help people whose backs are against the wall. One thing that you mentioned, fortune is in the follow-up. This weekend, I also heard a lot of people say, work with the willing, work with the willing. That's been a quote for so long, work with the willing. Let's see, do we have it? But you know what? It doesn't work that way anymore. And it's work with the working.
I love it.
So it's working with people who want to work, who want to change their lives. I don't understand why anybody would think that's salesy. I mean, and if they do think that's salesy, it's not for them right now. Could be in a few months when they kick themselves for not having started.
I love it. That's huge. I mean, the reality is like here's the thing, like, it doesn't really matter, like, and I want you to understand this too, like, from what you said, is like, it doesn't matter what you've done in the past, whether you didn't invite before, or you forgot about the coupon codes or any of that stuff. Really, like, what matters is that you take action on these things and work with the people that are following you, that are engaging. And inviting is not hard, guys. Like, what's hard? I tell this on some of my team calls. I say, what's hard? Like, think about Nelson Mandela, in prison for 29 years for something he didn't do, comes out, could have like done a whole bunch of bad stuff. Instead, he forgives everybody that puts him in prison, becomes president of the nation, and ends the apartheid movement, right? Oprah Winfrey, told that she can't do anything in life, that she will never be a broadcaster, uses that as fuel and becomes one of the most well-known personalities in the world, right? That stuff's hard. Going up in Canada and working the oil fields for 15, 20 hours a day and sleeping in a tiny little place and doing that for 4 months and not seeing your family. That's friggin' hard work. Going on Instagram and in 15 seconds doing an invite on your phone is easy. Like, I don't get it, right? And so with these coupon codes, last thing I'll say is, like, you just really have to use them. Like, you could really, like, potentially have a record-breaking week next week when we get paid. You could have a record-breaking week of people's lives transformed. Your team could have record volume. That's why Carl's so fired up. Like, think about it right now. I know one thing, that if Carl were to sit down with you guys and say, okay, imagine if he was in your house right now for 2 hours and he said, okay, you just listened to this call. Let's take some action. Let's go in your back office. Let's grab the coaches. Let's go live. Let's send out these codes. Let's follow up with those people. In a 2-hour chunk, you've seen how fired up Carl gets. He could get you to take massive action, right? You could potentially have a record week. There's no reason for you not to do this stuff. We've laid it out like perfectly. So sometimes I think, for me, I think, well, then what's really the holdup? And I think sometimes you got to look at yourself and go, well, maybe your back isn't against the wall. And so you just have to act as if your back is against the wall, and you'll have everything you've ever wanted. And people that look up to you will finally have those results that they need.
I used to call this call in the beginning Complaint-Free Monday, because like today, there should be absolutely no complaints about anything. If you're working on yourself, nothing else matters. Who cares? Nobody knows what you didn't do today. Nobody even knows what you did do unless you talk to people, unless you show it. So thank you, Miguel. I want to ask you the last question about personal fulfillment. What has coaching done for you? What has been the most rewarding part for you?
Yeah, I think these things change over time. And I think originally, Absolutely, it was super cool. Like the financial freedom was absolutely amazing in the beginning because like here I was, first of all, like 80 pounds overweight. And then throughout my journey, I was able to lose that weight and I was able to play with my kids. And that was like the first real thing. And then being able to give that to other people, and for me, like I was busy. I worked a 60-hour job. I was really busy with that. But at the same time, over a year period, building up my business to help others. And then for me, income disclaimer everywhere, I was able to take a leave from my full-time job after just 13 months in this business and just do this full-time and pour into this business. And then, 3 years after that, or 2 years after that, getting to the Legacy Club, which was incredible. And then honestly, like lately, it's been just a success of the challengers and success of my team. Huge shout out to all my team, Jen Wall, who's been a top coach in Canada and seeing that happen for her. Casey, who's been a top coach, Jamie and Kim Fitzpatrick, who have been, just won the CEO award. Aaron Carrasco, a few years ago, became an elite coach. She left her full-time job, my wife. So there's all these things that for me, just to seeing other people succeed is really the core of it. And I got to tell you, from someone that, back in the day, yeah, I had a great job, but we still had credit card debt, to now, money isn't really an issue. I got to tell you that money isn't really the be all and end all, and it's really not anything. I got to tell you, if that's what you're working for, like I really believe that you have to work for your own character, your own value, your own ethics. And what you'll realize is that the most fulfillment you'll ever get is like seeing others that believed in you. I'm gonna get a little emotional, like that believed in you succeed. Like seeing people like Jamie that like came to me and called me on the phone and said like all these things that were going on in his life and he needed to do this thing, and then giving those people the training and seeing them take action and just seeing their lives transform before like their very eyes. I got to tell you, like I screamed louder when he won and his wife won that award than I've ever screamed in my life. I lost my voice. And I wish that all of you could feel that feeling, not just your success, but that one day, because you take action, maybe because of this call, maybe because of the call you're here next week, because you take action, you end up transforming not only your life, but the lives of other people. And I think anytime you don't want to do something, think about others, because I believe that at the end of the day, when your life is over, what I fully believe, and whatever you believe, I love that about you. What I believe is I believe God put me here for a reason. And I think it was my job to become the best version of me that he created me to be. And I think for me, when my life ends, I'm going to be shown that perfect version of me, like who I was created to be, who, like the gifts that he gave me, the things that he made me struggle with. And he's going to say, this is who you should have been, and this is what you did with it. And I know I'm going to miss the mark, but I pray every day. When I make mistakes, I make horrible mistakes and I make great decisions. We all do. But I think the lesson there is that just let that go and let every day be January 1st for you. Let every day be a day where you have the will and the power and the passion to impact the lives of other people. If all you do after this call is, yes, get a little fired up, then I feel like I missed the mark, right? I really do. I want you guys to take action. I want you guys to use these promo codes that are there. They're sitting there in your inbox, not just a $10, $12 coupon. It's a reason for you to engage with your customers, the people that need you, that mom at home that was you 3 years ago, that's going through a divorce that feels like garbage. She needs you to reach out to her or she will not do it. And this is your chance. And because you're afraid you won't do that, I can't accept that. I just can't. I think you must do it. It is not an option to take massive action and help the people around you. Because if you look at the world right now, if you turn on CNN, that's all you got to do. And please don't. The world needs Team Beachbody now more than ever. I love you guys. Thanks for having me on this call, Sandy. I appreciate it.
You're awesome. You know what? Thank you so much. This was an incredible call. And I know people are going to want to listen to it on podcast later on, or they're going to want to read the transcript that I'll put up in the coach office tomorrow. So thank you so much, Miguel. I was also thinking, if you're a discount coach right now, if you came in 3 years ago just for the discount and you're thinking of a time to re-engage in this business or to engage in this business, or you just came in 3 months ago as a discount coach, Now would be the time to engage. Also, today is the day that you are making a change. You're taking back your life today. Get in the program. Get someone else in the program with you. Pick the meal plan. Commit to 100 workouts. Send yourself 100 roses when you complete this thing. It starts with day one, and day one is today. This is your wake-up call.